It's time.
And then wait for this one to turn blue. At least the messages just pop up right here so bad that I couldn't click it. There we go. Should be going live. Boom, we're live.
Nice.
We're live. All right, now we're 100% live. With my buddy Chad, we never met in person. We think we have for a brief moment, like, hey, but it was years ago. He looked a lot different, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
You'd be like, is it a football tryout or a football practice? He was probably more of a defensive tackle or lineman at the time. Now he's like a running back or a receiver.
I was trying to look at linebacker, but I know that wouldn't happen.
That's where I remember you from, linebacker. Yeah. That's where I remember you from.
Yeah.
Now you look like a safety or a...
Right, I'm a little skinny old, like...
I wouldn't say skinny, you're muscular.
Yeah.
Definitely muscular. You know why? I get this thing about CrossFit guys. Because you CrossFit, that's it?
Yeah.
Because you have a dope CrossFit gym in your house?
Yeah.
I love that. It's in the house.
It's like, so we got like a little guest house out back, and it's like in there.
Oh,
I like knocked some stuff out and told the wife, like, hey,
that's sick.
Guest house is not going to be.
Is it AC and heated?
Yeah, AC heated. But I turned most of that off. I opened up the garage door. It's got access to the garage and stuff, and so I run in and out the alley and do stuff, sleds.
Yeah, I see you and Kristen.
Yeah.
She's an old friend of mine. I see y'all pushing sleds and shit just down the road.
Down the road.
It's hardcore, man.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we became official friends on like social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I watched your stuff. I was like, this dude's legit, man, right here.
Well, and then following you doing different stuff through football and then working out and going to different gyms and checking it out. Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah. Cool.
But that's what I said earlier. That's why I like these, to get people in so I can talk to them and pick your brains and see what you know.
Yeah.
And I know you know way more about CrossFit things. For sure. I have questions. And then, like, don't ever feel like I'm attacking CrossFit. I'm always looking at everything from both sides. Because people say I powerlift. I love powerlifting. But I also CrossFit pretty much every day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
You can definitely find your people in the CrossFit gyms that have no idea what they're doing. But you can find that in any gym, you know?
Yeah.
So...
probably in most gyms, I'm sure about like 80% of people don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
they want to get in there, move some weight.
Well, they see a person do a deadlift and they go, oh yeah, and they look.
I can pick up some weight. I have no idea how much to put, but.
And the coach gives them an advice and they, okay, and they kind of listen. But
bit.
It's very quick to be forgotten.
Right.
And when I do lifts, I'm very attentive on my form.
I do too. I'm always checking out my feet placement. And
yeah. And then I don't like the fact that, bringing that up, in CrossFit, they would really say, oh, more narrow stance. You see a very narrow stance in CrossFit squats.
Right.
Some people are just built with wider hips. There's a little string trick you can do to see kind of where you need to spread your legs.
Right. Because
I found out that I did find this helped. I went from a CrossFit gym, which is a very good gym. If I'm going to a CrossFit gym in this town and paying money, Tall City CrossFit with Tyler Orr.
Right.
Love that place.
I've dropped in there. Tyler's awesome.
Yeah. But when I was doing more narrow, I mean, I felt powerful in it, but my knees felt weird, my hips felt weird. When I went to sign up for Iron Strength Gym, it's a power gym, and he got this string out and he put it on my hip and to my knee, and he kind of showed to where like the stability was going to be at and where the power was going to be distributed to the hip.
Right. And
then you're like, oh, and he goes, hey, why don't you try to turn your feet out? And he goes, that's just a rough guesstimate. And then after that, you just kind of figure it out. So I'm always like, I think if anybody's going to do a squat or a deadlift and they're new, you should always see them kind of wiggling.
I find that even get your hands in and out.
Yeah, like, okay, this is the right, because you'll feel different muscles move and joints kind of feel awkward or have pressure against them. Like, that's what I kept feeling, was pressure on the outside of my knees.
Right.
And when I got a little bit wider, not a bunch wider, and slightly turned my feet out, that I realized that it released released all the pressure there. And it wasn't a knock against Ty or CrossFit. What they did made me feel powerful. All the weight was underneath me, but when I did that, I didn't have any pain.
Well, there's definitely like I know the whole turning your feet. You know, John Wellborn.
You talk like that.
John Wellborn, he
there you go.
Does strength stuff out of Austin. He does. I can't remember the name of his. Like CrossFit football. He kind of was original with that, I believe. But he talks about toes forward squatting, like that's a powerful position. Football player, hey, toes forward, nobody's gonna knock you off balance.
Right.
So, but I've noticed, and I try to squat pretty toes forward, but turning my feet out just a little bit makes me a little more stable. I can push my knees out a little bit easier. I think they always talk about in weightlifting, as long as your knees are kind of tracking over your toes, you want to push those knees out, track them over your toes. That's where you're stable. So you don't want to get so wide that your knees are collapsing.
You want the bar path with the bar to be straight to the center of your foot, straight line the whole way.
Yeah, and then your knees kind of tracking over the toes. You don't want your feet so wide that your kind of knees are collapsing in.
Right, absolutely.
Things like that. So it's just kind of finding your comfort position. I think people that are taller have longer leverage, a little easier to spread feet out a little bit more, feet shorter.
But does that suck for those people?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's a lift.
It's a long ways to pick up
or a snatch.
Weight. Snatches, yeah.
I wonder, like that's the lift I was telling you about. I said before we started the podcast, we were talking about. I've done CrossFit. I've done everything. I like CrossFit. He's 100% CrossFit. He has way more knowledge. That way I can ask these questions and he can answer them. And but the snatch lift, I don't think is a necessary lift.
As far as like functionality,
I'm not. But in the way, well, I shouldn't say necessary. In the way I've seen some of these places in CrossFit teach head to the shoulders, which I may understand that. Some of them push the head completely through, and the bar will be almost behind them when they catch that weight. I'm having a hard time seeing how any weight that far behind your back. I guess I don't know. I just don't see how.
Yeah, I think that's going to come a lot from lack of mobility. And you have, I guess there's powerlifters, there's Olympic weightlifters that have their. You're always going to have somebody that swears by everything. Like, elbows in, hey, elbows out, knees back. What works for some doesn't work for all, but for the majority, you want that weight centered over your, like you said, center of your foot. That bar can be straight over, have your hips and your feet and the bar over top. Like that's where you're ideal. Now, lack of mobility in your shoulders, you're going to want to push that bar back a little bit more, bring that chest down. You're going to do what you need to do to get in
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that puts you in a bad situation to really hurt.
Yeah.
Because the snatch, I'm sorry to cut you off. I get by the shoulder blade, like the scapula's pinching together.
Right.
You make a stable base. You're like a pillar.
Right.
But when you start getting that far back, you start to push the pressure on these.
You'll really notice that more in people who typically have tighter hips. So when they're trying to get down into that squat, and they're they're leaning forward. They're going to try and push that bar back a little bit more. Their chest is going to start dropping. So you're going to notice that a lot more in people who are probably a little less mobile. If you look at like an Olympic lifter, they're pretty mobile, So that's something a good coach should be able to catch and really work with you on your mobility. You have different types of coaches all over the place. So some will swear by one thing and some will swear by another, but I think a good coach will definitely catch your mobility, address those issues, hopefully get you on the right track. I do. I did coach for a while. I have a couple people that train out of the house.
You're still certified?
Yeah, still certified.
Badass. Badass.
Yeah. So like I said, it was a weekend seminar, but I do a lot of online research, trying to fix positions, listening to different coaches. Everybody always talks. That's kind of a big knock on CrossFit. Like, oh, you just got a weekend cert. Yeah, it's very possible. You can go open up your own gym.
You want to go do for 6 months? I got 10 years of experience. I know what I'm talking about. Right. I'll just get started the weekend and start my gym. Right. Or get started and train people.
Right. And so, I guess
that's where I'm at. Like for my gym open, trust me, I'm getting the fastest cert possible.
Right. Yeah. I want someone to put on the wall, say, hey, I can have a gym,
Right.
But at the same time, a good coach will definitely spend the time to research movements, be able to look at a person and say, hey, what is your goals here? Are you here because you're just wanting to move? Some people want to come in and put the same amount of weight on the bar for deadlifts and push presses and whatever, snatches, and say, hey, I just want to sweat for 45 minutes. That's all well and good. If that's your goal, we can make that happen. But if you want to get good at positioning and you want to, I want to know what your issues are and I'll be able to address those.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's another thing I noticed. If you go into a gym and the guy's not like, hey, do you have any pains or any problems with the shoulders, mobility anywhere, or any experience in this, you probably need to start going, because a snatch is the first time I ever snatched in my life is a CrossFit, and to realize what goes into a snatch, was like, oh,
It's
okay.
pretty technical. Like when you look at the clean and jerk and the snatch, they're
Pinterest.
technical lifts. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in the body.
But not like the snatch and that clean and jerk.
Yeah,
That snatch is a whole different beast, man.
for sure. Well, and then you even notice, you see, I've had a lot of people come in that have been like, oh, I did clean and jerk in high school. Coach would tell us, pull that bar to your shoulder, push that shit overhead, and it's like, oh, there's a little more to it. There's some positions you want to hit and some ideal. You'll be able to get more weight up there. There's people that are just raw strong. Like, yeah, pull that.
Yeah, well, I kind of did that snatching in the
Yeah.
CrossFit gym. They were doing like a 175 or something for 3, like squat snatch or whatever
Right.
you call it for 3. And I think I ended up snatching like 205 or 225 that day. But it was like I could pull the bars
I'm
behind
still like
us.
215. I'm like struggling 220.
But yeah, it was
yeah,
it was a power snatch. You'd be working. It was like 225. I could pull it to my face almost, and then just kind of jump under real fast.
Right.
It wasn't like the picture I posted you where you're squatted down full. It wasn't a snatch like that.
Right.
It wasn't a good. My snatch is shit.
That's that whole
snatch
just
is
raw strength.
Yeah.
You've been lifting weights since junior high, high school, whatever. So
Yeah.
just being able to pull heavy weight up is it's not the issue. Now the technicality behind where to catch it, how to catch it safely, it's a little bit different.
The way I do a snatch is not safe.
So,
Like even my coach was like, "Dude, you're strong as shit. You just gotta
that brute strength.
you
Yeah.
gotta get that. He's like, you gotta get the snatch. My snatch, like I was so scared to jump backwards. Still,
Yeah. That kind of execute that like a backflip.
that
Almost
pop.
like, yeah.
I would watch him do it, and he'd be on his toes, and his
Yeah.
head would be all the way back.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Right.
Because it's not easy. A clean jerk, I can power clean pretty decently because deadlifts, like I got good form that I've researched over the years too.
Right.
Back in high school ruined me. High school football coaches, most I shouldn't say all, the ones I had no idea like the damage they were doing to people. When my back right now, I was deadlifting the other day. I did a little PR. Well, I tried to pull 500, and it would have pulled. It came off the ground. I got to my knees. I got past the hard part out of the gutter. It was pulling fast, but I got excited and lost form. So I went, from looking up to looking straight. Ass started beating my shoulders. The bar got away from my knees, a little farther from my body.
Strippered it up a little bit.
At 500 pounds, with it, even 2-3 inches off your knees, it strains that back. I felt my back get tight, and even today, I'm like, I've been stretching.
And that's that same thing we're talking about, with CrossFit coaches. Can you get a cert in CrossFit and really go to coach people and not know what you're doing? Absolutely. But you can also get a job as a high school football coach, or and so that's universal in the strength training world. Like he's a football coach, not necessarily a strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, he watched some guy do power cleans. We're gonna do football players do power cleans. That's what we're gonna do. What do they do? Yeah, it looks like they just jerk it off the floor to the chest, turn your wrist.
Yeah,
they have nothing about. They had no idea about
knee
elbows,
position, foot position, elbows,
bar path.
Stuff. Yeah,
I've never heard bar path until I went to CrossFit.
Yeah. A lot of people end up turning that clean into kind of that reverse curl kind of thing.
Yes. Not understanding exactly what's going on in the bar path.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what happens when you start letting that bar get far ahead of your body, and the pressures is putting on all these joints that don't need to carry that much weight.
Right. And you take some of these weaker joints like your elbow and trying to put, pull it out there and hold that weight out in front of you and do some damage to that elbow. That's
one thing I think CrossFit should throttle back on. I've seen them, I think, throttle up because people are getting like CrossFit builds superheroes. CrossFit's building like mad superheroes. And I'm trying to keep up with that, but they're getting so crazy. It looks like they're almost forgetting the basics of form and some things. Like a snatch for time makes no sense to me.
Right.
Unless you're gonna snatch, drop, reset, snatch.
Which is a thing.
That should be a rule.
Yeah.
Amongst everybody, like a snatch and drop and reset. Because it takes away, and they should have like maybe even a form coach that goes, like you're not allowed to pull until you're in position. Like they green light, like go, like waiting for you. As soon as you get your perfect position, they'll try to throw it as fast as they can.
Right. Well, I think when you look at the CrossFit competitions, they're always kind of adjusting. They're constantly, it's still a young sport per se. So they're kind of still adjusting. Like, okay, these Olympic lifters are doing it for single reps, as heavy as possible, and they get it overhead, lock it up, drop it. And if we want to do that times 30, how do we make it fair across the board? Do we make everybody drop it, or if you're strong enough to touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, do we knock you for that? Like, I think they're always adjusting the rules each year. you have to take a new judging course every year, and they add new things in all the time. They're always changing the rules a little bit, so it's
Right.
kind of hard to.
Yeah, that's a fine tune.
Yeah, they're fine tuning it. So you still got people changing the rules in football and
Yeah,
in
which kinda
baseball,
sucks.
and yeah.
See, but I guess here I am bitching, and I'm thinking of people hurting themselves long because CrossFit's so new.
Right.
How many 50-year-old CrossFitters have been CrossFitting for 25, 30
Right.
years?
Yeah, we still don't know what that's going to look
We
like.
don't.
Or ideally, it looks like. Well, I think you still have to look at it from the standpoint of overall CrossFit should be for functionality and fitness.
Yes.
The 1%, even maybe the top 5 to 10% can do what they want with it. You're always going to have
Like in football.
Yeah, your top. If you want to sacrifice your body for the immediate cause of fame or money or whatever, like you have every right to do that. It's your body.
Right.
But the majority of people should probably not be in that realm.
But get ready, or there should be a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Like, because people's like me see that and go, okay, so I can do a snatch. Like, I want to just watch these guys on YouTube. That's how I'm gonna figure it out. There's a lot of people like that.
Right.
I want to snatch like this guy does, and then they go grab 135 pounds,
Yeah.
and they try to snatch for time, and maybe they can snatch it. Maybe they can snatch it kind of, and they do it for time. 5 reps in, they blow all kinds of things out.
The brute strength just recently did a kind of a competition. They took a CrossFit athlete and then a Olympic weightlifter. Yeah, and they did.
They all did each other's stuff, right?
Yeah, they each had like the what's his name, physique guy, and then a strongman. They each kind of did a little bit of their each events, and I think overall, I think the CrossFit guy ideally did the best, and then
the Olympic weightlifter.
Yeah, but the guy, the Olympic weightlifter, he was definitely stronger, clean and jerk wise, and he was
the strongest guy in the
room. Yeah, he was a pretty little guy per pound. I mean, he ended up putting up more weight, and he was probably the lightest athlete.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, and then technique and everything. And then they did like a CrossFit workout. It was like 30 clean and jerks per time. Yes. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Like he does singles, but he had no problem with the weight. And neither did any of the other guys. Like the conditioning.
The bodybuilder was literally doing.
Yeah, he was just pulling it up and pressing it, but he got tired. He got winded. So did all the other guys. That's just not.
That's what I like about CrossFit, dude.
Yeah.
I noticed something though when I did CrossFit for a long period of time. Like the top guys when they did CrossFit, where everybody around the world can put their numbers out.
The open.
That's it. Well, there's a guy named Ricky, and he's an animal, and he's like top 10%, I think, something like that. He's legit. And I kept noticing all the really high level dudes in there, which I like to go hard, or thinner dudes, and it wasn't nothing against that. I don't have that build or that structure. Right. I got down to 209 pounds, which is pretty light for me.
Right.
My head started looking kind of big. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, maybe I got to do something different to keep some size. And I wonder if some of those CrossFit guys, like Matt Frazier's, and don't do some
isolation around like it. Yeah, I mean, I think you would have to. I mean,
they're super jacked.
Well, I think you're seeing a large transition of that in CrossFit where you're seeing a little bit of muscle imbalances. Like, hey, you do snatches and cleans all the time. Like, you have this monstrous back pull. You got chest, but you have no chest. So, hey, if we're going to get some good pressing numbers, we need to do some bench. And so you're seeing, I think originally weightlifting kind of started in this Olympic or the strongman background. People would see imbalances like, oh, I need a stronger chest.
Right.
And then you start seeing this global gym type thing popping up where like people are like, oh, I need to fix this. I need to fix this. And then now you're seeing this transition back to
warrior mode.
Yeah, straight. Yeah. So, but
CrossFit's kind of like a warrior type.
Yeah, we're going there. We just throw some weight around and.
Well, yeah, like the thing. Yeah, exactly. It's more of a power clean 115 pounds or 30 pounds for 30 reps at way more than 30 reps. But amongst a slam ball workout and something else, it's kind of like moving a body, fighting off somebody. It's a functional workout. But I think people don't understand. CrossFit gets hated on so much because I think CrossFit should own more of like this can jack you up if you go do it like Matt Frazier. Certain lifts you should do super light. I remember like Tyler Orr, see me snatch, he was nothing more than 135.
Yeah.
stop.
We
It
need
was
to
actually
learn how to do
115.
this, yeah, properly.
The only reason he said 135 is because it was so light at 115. I couldn't feel the weight that much.
Right.
He was like, so we'll slow it down a little bit.
Right.
And stuff like that. You don't hear that much. So people that don't get into it and see the CrossFit games, they go nuts and get blasted.
And I think that's where, not everybody needs to be videoing their workouts. And
Right.
yeah, like, you're always gonna, the internet's gonna pick you apart, man. Like,
Yeah.
if you put it out there,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna nail it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And there's
But-
technical form and everything.
Yeah, but I think the overall, a good coach should be able to like say, hey, we need to tone that back a little bit till we fix this little, it just, I think the intentions are good. Good coaches are always going to be good coaches.
Right.
And then you're going to have some bad coaches too. And that's.
So, have you had any injuries or serious injuries from CrossFit? Because you've done it for how long?
I've been doing it since like 2012. So 2011, 2012. No serious injuries. I mean, I think most of any of my little aches and pains have come from muscle imbalances, and I didn't really discover that until, hey, we snatch, we clean and jerk, but I don't bench. It was like, so I started benching in some of my strength programs, and I've noticed like some of my Olympic lifting programs call for these, hey, you need to do single arm dumbbell presses, you need to do bench, you need to do lunges, like these things you don't see a lot in CrossFit,
Right.
which they do, or they'll do them at lighter weights, or people think, oh, you're cleaning 200 pounds, we'll balance that out with a little bit of push-ups, but you need to either be doing some weighted push-ups, or you need to be able to increase that intensity, because if you're pulling 400 pounds, you need to be pushing more than a quarter, to half your body weight.
Right.
So
if you're working one thing in weights, you got to work the other.
Yeah, because you're going to develop these imbalances, and most of that would be, shoulder. I guess shoulder's such a complicated joint. It moves all these different directions, so it's easy to get injured, and it's hard to know what caused it. So it moves up and down, it moves front to back. So you get these impingements, but yeah, most of that's all been corrected through. I'd go and they'd be like, "Oh, you got weaker chest. You need to bench more." And I'd do that for a little while, stretch it a little better, and it'll clear up. Until I don't stretch enough, or recovery is a big deal.
That's something I learned at CrossFit. It took more. It made me focus. Now I do on everything. I didn't focus on recovery. I'd be sore, from lifting weights or whatever, running sprints. I'd stretch a little bit, but I didn't get a foam roller. I didn't get a foam ball. Those little, what are those things called? It's like a little bitty. It's like a foam
ball.
Yeah, but it's real smart. So you can really get the deep knots.
Yeah.
I started doing that, dude. Like my lower back, without this little orange ball I have on the middle, like the other night, last night after I deadlifted this morning, I'd be sitting here going, oh, it was hurting.
Well, it's just like stretching, and I guess I have a huge appreciation just for every aspect of fitness. It gives me a new appreciation for like how flexible a gymnast is, or how mobile an Olympic lifter is, or how, like, all these people, you're like, yeah, you may be strong, but are you flexible, or are you, can you can lift barbells, but can you control your body weight? Like every aspect of fitness I have new appreciation for, and I'll never like knock somebody for doing yoga. Hard.
It's probably a good idea, at least once a week.
I think at least like having a good appreciation and an basic understanding of the body, how it moves, why it moves, the directions it moves should be incorporated into anybody. If they want to have fitness, they should be able to incorporate that in there.
Yeah, that just lines up. It keeps things lined out. Like I have I guess my right side's super tight. My left side's not. My hips are kind of messed up, and it's years of lack of stretching, building and compressing myself, tightening muscles up, not really releasing them anyway.
Well, it's probably goofy things too. Like you got to think like you sit in a work truck and you like use your right leg all day, and you're like,
that's true.
You're like driving and your left leg's just being dumb. Or that you step out of the car with your left leg first, and then you're like, so you pull all that body weight onto the left. Like
that's true.
It's stupid little things that you don't take into account. Like you're getting in and out of your bed with one leg, or you're doing whatever it is that you do in life. Like you're doing one side dominant. So when you have these goofy little imbalances in the hips. Like, what am I doing? Why is my left leg so much stronger than my right? Well, everything I do is step out of my truck and push up with my left leg. So, and I'm not doing that.
That's true.
You know, it's like goofy
Yeah.
little things that people don't pay attention to. That
It's overuse of one side.
yeah, you're just imbalanced. It's not necessarily injured. It's just imbalanced. You know, so I think that's where these supplemental exercises, like you see, I think that's where everybody, kind of what I was saying, the transition from the old school weightlifting with just barbells to saying, hey, I got a weak left arm, so I need to do some single arm dumbbell press or some kettlebell or whatever. And say, I need to build up. Why am I so imbalanced? Yeah, well, I'm right-handed, so I need to do some stuff left-handed. Or
that's true.
And then so you went from barbell to dumbbells, and
or add 2 reps to the left side. Everything you do, like if you're doing a kettlebell snatch, do 10 on one side, do 12 on the other side.
Or just do 10 on both sides, but make sure you're getting even work. Like, eventually it'll balance itself out, but don't do 10 on the right and then be like 2 on the left and then 10 more on the right because your left arm's tired.
Yeah, like,
Just balance it out. Yeah. It's weak, make it stronger.
Lower the weight, probably.
Yeah, lower the weight or just make it stronger. Like, keep good form, and if you're tired, set it down, pick it back up, and go again.
Yeah,
like if it's gonna affect your time on the board, who cares? If it's gonna make your body healthier, make your body healthier first.
People think that setting, like I do that. I got 10 on this side, 10 on this side. I go 7. Oh, I'm gonna sit down for like 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a lot of rest to get 3 or 4 more reps. Whatever you're getting, and then I'll get it out of the way. But just get them in, get the reps in. Instead of like going, well, I got 8, I need 10. I'll go 8's good. I'm really wasted right now. Like I'm really just, my arm can't take no more. Probably should just 2 more.
Just do 2 more. Set it down and finish off. Like, some days and there's goofy things that play into that too. Like, I didn't sleep very well last night, or hey, I didn't eat very good today, or whatever. Like, you're low on energy, but you get the work done. Like, do it.
I've noticed CrossFit did help me. I was already a pretty strong-willed dude, but I remember watching some documentaries and guys just like and seeing podcasts about people like pushing through thresholds. And I remember going to WAD that day at the Tall City CrossFit, and I'm throwing the slam ball up on the high target, and I forgot what it was, but we did it was like thrusters. It was hellacious, you know what I'm saying? Anything that's thrusters, you know,
thrusters are terrible.
It's bad.
Keep you awake at night knowing you got to do them tomorrow.
Dude, my first day in my CrossFit, it's thruster day. And like the guy was like, Ty was like, good day to show up.
Yeah, for sure.
I got 8 up too. But I remember throwing that, like, he was sort of throwing it, catching it, squatting. Throwing it, catching it, squatting. I forgot how many reps, but I'm literally throwing the ball. And you know that exhaustion, you're like you can't get air. You kind of panic. And I'm like, in the building, usually I want to like just get stripping naked and run outside and thinking it's helping me get air.
Right.
And like I throw it up, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I was about to like walk away and let it go. And I was like, no, dude, let's just keep, because I heard guys like Cameron Haynes and some other people like ultramarathoners that said it like really sucks. It just like David Goggins. I don't know if you know who that guy is.
I think that's what separates the 1%. Like those people who can just
say fuck,
go through it, man. Like I don't have that. I don't have that. No, you're good.
Sorry, I told you, I'm trying not to cuss. That's the first one. I think maybe this one. I got one. But yeah, no, for real. That's what happened. Okay, I was like, I'm catching it and we'll throw it again. I could not breathe.
Yeah.
And I threw it, and then before I realized that I was still going, and I realized I'm like, I was on another level.
Yeah.
I felt energized again.
Well, I think there's that, they call it like that runner's high.
Yeah,
like
that's real.
When you run and then you finally hit that level where you're like, okay, I'm tired, but just keep moving.
Yes.
Like, I think I experienced that my first time running my first 5K, because I had never run like more than a mile. So I was like, well, tired at a mile, I need to take a break. Now just keep stepping. And then you're like, okay, about a mile and a half, mile and 3/4 in, I'm like, well, like I'm here, just keep stepping. Like I'm tired, but I can just keep moving. Like you kind of get past that. I'm exhausted and just go.
I'm almost there.
I might as well just keep stepping.
That CrossFit did help me really discover that I can go deep.
Yeah.
I can
go into the pain cave.
I can go deep. What do you call it? The dark place.
Yeah. I always call it the pain cave. Just like get in there and let it out, man.
And I like that aspect. I've always liked that aspect of life. So when I realized CrossFit was about that, I was like, oh, I'm about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like you gotta do hard stuff.
Well, I think there's that. You have to know well enough to know the difference between tired and hurt. Like, am I going to sacrifice form? Or am I going to hurt myself going a couple more reps, or do I just need to suck it up and go?
I think like, okay, say we're throwing 30 wall balls, and I'm at 15, shooting at 12. Dude, if I finish this, am I gonna die?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be laying on the ground, like literally gasping for air, like a fish out of water for about 3 minutes, and then about 5 minutes, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna hit all fours, and then about 7, I'll be getting water, still breathing pretty hard. About 10, I'll be good.
Yeah, that's about
And then after 11, I'll feel like I just blew the world up.
right.
I
Yeah,
did
I'm
some
gonna
real
be
shit.
like, well, you're proud of yourself. Like, hey, I was tired, but I got it done.
Yep.
You know.
I mean, and then the next workout, you go in there and it's like it's a mental barrier almost.
Right.
It wasn't that you couldn't do the work the day before, is you didn't allow yourself to do the work the day before. But the next day you came in, you're like, I'm just going to dominate, and you broke through that threshold. So the next day you show up to the gym, you're kind of like, what can't I do?
Right.
What can't I? Okay, so I did that yesterday. What's today's workout? I'm going to blow this thing out of the water.
Right. Well, then you pick your things, and you're like, oh.
What you're
yesterday,
good at, what
yesterday I kind of, I had to really dig deep. But today, that's in my wheelhouse.
It's a new gear.
Yeah.
You went from first, you got a second gear now, and then I'm gonna find this third.
Right.
And it makes you wonder how far. Because I do some really stupid stuff. People say, "Well, I don't work out with you, but I want you to do what you do." I'm like, dude, if we worked out and I worked you out, we wouldn't do anything. What I do is dumb.
Right.
Like you said, I've lifted weights a long time. I've kind of built some sort of a structure to do some of the overhead farmers walks and things like that at 200 pounds or whatever it was.
Right.
But I don't know if I was getting at with that, but to go into like a CrossFit scenario with that, like it's that mentality of taking it to a level, whatever level you're on, but take it to that next level so you can get to the next level and then find a little. What happens is you kind of plateau, okay, and then you'll find that hard day and go, I'm gonna get the third gear.
Well, I always in the gym I would pick the guy that's pretty well close to my ability, but maybe a little bit better than me in certain areas. Like, oh, he's a little bit faster than me, so I'm gonna try and keep up with him. And then the next day, I'm like, well, that guy's a little bit stronger than me. Maybe a totally different guy, but I'm like, I'm gonna try and keep up with him. And that's, I would kind of build up myself that way. Just always trying to find somebody who, you don't want to pick the strongest guy and then be like, oh, I'm gonna beat him because he's gonna make you look sad.
Right.
But find that one that's just right, maybe a little bit better than you or pretty close to your level and like
attainable.
Yeah, or if you're better than him or he's like looking at you like, okay, I gotta beat him today. Like, I'm not gonna let him beat me. Yeah, you have your days where you lose and some days where you win, but that's how I always push myself, is finding that person to beat.
It's nice when there's one next to you and you kind of start working out. Like I remember doing box jump workout with somebody. We didn't really move. It was like box jump to pull up bars. So we stayed in the same area.
Yeah.
But we started going, and at first I wasn't paying too much attention to him or any really. But then you just can't help but notice, like every time I'm on the pull-up bar, this guy's kind of on the pull-up bar, and then I'm on the box. And then before I know it, we're like,
well, he's getting to the pull-up bar before me.
I think we both knew that, like, I'm gonna get you, dude.
Right.
You're not gonna get me. And then, but what sucks is the guy was really big, like bigger than me, and he had a motor. I was not prepared. I mean, I got beat, not by much, but I definitely got beat.
Yeah.
But he made me find another gear that day. I was like, because what we were doing, I wasn't doing so good at, but like box jumps, burpees, and bar or something, whatever we were doing in the bar. And I was like, this dude's an animal.
Yeah.
He was an animal.
There's those people that'll surprise you, man. Like walk in, like I'm sure if you walked in on day one, I'd be like, oh, he's brand new,
Yeah.
But like you said, you've been working out, you played football, you did all this different stuff.
CrossFit.
Yeah, but you never CrossFit, but you got an engine and you got some strength. I'm like, there's always that person that walks in that you're like, I got this. Like I'm gonna show him what it's like, and then you get humbled a little bit because you're like, man, I've been doing this for like 6 years, and this dude comes in and crushes me in clean and jerk or whatever, just because you got that brute strength,
So, but when it comes to something like burpees, I hate burpees to this day, dude. I don't care. I don't think you get good at them.
You know what? I used to hate burpees, and now it's like, it's just burpees. It's just laying down and getting up. Like I could find that zone and just that runner's high, just
stay in that one mode.
Yeah,
I try to always imagine being a machine, and like whatever the machine does, it's like it doesn't stop. It just keeps its pace.
Yeah.
There's no shutdowns. Just keep cranking.
Just keep cranking. And that's what it is, finding that rhythm from the get-go. Like, he may hop out in front of me by 2, 3, 5 reps, but he's gonna regret that here at 50 or 75 or whatever. Like, yeah, he's throwing himself on the ground trying to get a big lead, but he's gonna be
go deep and go deep in deep waters and catch up to
him. I'm just gonna keep this one pace, tortoise in the hare. I'm just gonna
start reeling them back in.
Yeah.
I have noticed in CrossFit, like it would be a day where I started getting more intelligent about what was going on. I would go, okay, I'm good at that. I'm not good at this. I'm good at this. I'm not good at that. I'm gonna throttle, back off.
Yeah.
Throttle, back off.
And then you start kind of strategizing it a little bit, And
then midway through, you think I'm gonna throttle all the way through. You go to whatever second round here, I gotta back off on this one. I gotta back off and hold it back and then throttle out. Like I'm starting to peter more than I thought I would. It's kind of like being in a race car. Like as you're doing it, you're like, oh, I thought I had more gas or more, did I lose a cylinder today? What's the deal?
Right.
I gotta ease up on what I thought I was good at. So then maybe on the next thing I'm not good at, I'm gonna have to kind of pick it up more than I had to.
Right.
Than I wanted to really. It's a fun thing.
And then learning the difference between like, I'm tired, but I can keep going. Like when it comes to weightlifting, you're like, man, if I lift this bar up, I may not be able. Like it's a strength issue.
Yeah.
Like it becomes I don't know if I can push it over my head, or is it I can keep doing burpees, but I might throw up. Like, is it a mental issue, or do I need to take a break because my lungs are hurting, or because it's a raw strength issue?
I'll give you an example. I did a deadlift, 455, which was a PR. And the way I pulled it, my coach said, yeah, we should go 500 like right now. And the 500, like I said, almost came up. It didn't come up, but it dropped. So I said, I'm going to do it again. Like it should come up. It came up really fast. Mm-hmm. So it should be no problem. But it's only a strength thing. There's no endurance. I can take as much time. Probably wait 3 minutes between pulls. Plenty of time. I go to grab the bar. I couldn't pull it off the ground because guess what? Power's gone. Power level drained. But if I was running some miles, and I'm like, oh,
you get that side cramp. Yeah.
Can you go another 2 miles to finish? Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I don't want to.
My legs don't stop working.
Yeah.
My lungs don't stop working. But yeah, the pain's just really intense. You can do that. You can't will the 500 pounds off the ground.
It's and it's like working towards those maxes. That's where it's kind of weird because you're like, well, I'm at I've warmed up. I'm at 435. Do I need to 455 is my PR. Do I need to hit 445 and then try for 460? Do I need to just throw 460 on there because I don't want to use all that adrenaline? Do I just need to go ahead and go for it, or do I need one more set to warm up? So it's like playing that game of
it's learning your body.
Yeah, learning your body.
I'm a big jump guy. Yeah. I was like did good bench presses back in the day. I was always like, but I knew I had these weights. Like I would warm up and then I'd have a certain weight to kind of get like a second, a little heavier warm up.
Yeah.
And then I had my third weight would be like, how do I feel today weight?
Right.
It's like
let's test it. Let's see where we're at.
Like 315 would be, or 405 would be like a test weight. If I push that real good, I'd be okay, let's rock it today. Or something like, ooh, you feel sketchy today, man.
Well, I think from my understanding, I've never really looked real deep into it, but the base understanding of like the Windler's 5-3-1 program is kind of that your 5 rep max, 3 rep max, 1. But they do that. Like they teach. It's like the West Side Barbell method. It's like,
makes you strong, man.
Well, yeah, and it's like, hey, you hit singles up until you just go PR. You don't hit like, oh, we're gonna do 135 for 8 warm ups, and then we're gonna go to 225 for 6. It's like hit a 135, boom, hit a 225, boom, hit a 315, and then you just start working your way up in singles until you PR, until you hit a PR. So it's a different method, but it's like, hey, we're going for heavyweight. We're not going for repetitions. We're trying to put up big numbers.
Right.
And that's where your strength is built. It's just a different method, different approach.
CrossFitters could do that along with the CrossFit stuff, and they would see some serious numbers come through that process.
Yeah, and I mean, there's
just have a day. It's gonna be so weird for a CrossFit guy to go in there and go, "What are you gonna do today?" I want to do 5 for 5 on deadlift, and you're gonna do like the way I've been told to break it down through an actual power, what you're talking about is, so it's 5 for 5. You do at 60% of your weight the first week, and then your 5 for 3. You do it at 75%, and then every week you add 5% to the poundage of your max. So that's of your max, obviously. And at that month, you pretty much should gain about 5 pounds to your max. Right. And in a year, you can gain, say, 100 pounds or something like that.
And there's different CrossFit gyms out there who are really starting to adopt these different methods, like these old powerlifting and these Olympic lifting numbers, where they're like, hey, strength is still king. Like you see these CrossFit guys, like, yeah, conditioning's a pretty big factor, but strength is still king. I mean,
because it's hard to be super conditioned and super strong.
Yeah, and strength takes so much longer to put on. Like you can go through and build strength all year. You know, you may put on 5, 10 pounds PR, 15 pounds, whatever, but you can cut. You know,
Yeah.
In 6, 8 weeks before the Open or the CrossFit Games, you know, hey, I'm gonna just rev up this motor and just suck it up. Yeah. So you can build.
Just put that work.
Yeah, you just that mental game, that mental capacity of conditioning a lot quicker than you can build that. And there is people who have like pure speed.
Yeah, like special
that.
people.
Yeah, they got that speed, and speed kills.
Yeah.
Strength is king, man. Like that's
it's
you
true.
You go head on speed versus strength.
Right.
Give me strength every day.
I mean, yeah, like back when we did MMA, they would say even in technique and all brute strength, some can find a way to dominate a very talented technical person.
Right.
Just because it's so hard to deal with.
Yeah. You can take a big guy versus a little guy, and like you may have all the technique in the world, but if I can just hold you down.
Yeah, exactly. It's over, right?
It's over.
Pull my arm through your arm and just start snapping things.
Yeah.
And CrossFit, I guess they're going more towards weight training too, aren't they? Well, I saw they do a lot.
Gym's a little different, man. Like it kind of depends on. I guess it would depend on your clientele.
See, I think Tall said I was told that it was more of a competition style gym,
right.
And it was very cardio based. Which I'm telling you right now, after I left there, I could run and go. My VO2 max is not what it was. There's no way.
Right.
But I only did CrossFit then.
Right.
You know, that's all I did.
I think you have your people who want to come into the gym and be like, hey, I want to get stronger. And you're going to have your people who want to get faster. And you have your people who just want to get fitter. They want to get a little bit stronger and a little bit faster. But knowing your clientele, if you have 50 members and the majority are just concerned about general fitness, you know, you have 10 that want to get stronger, 40 that want to get, you need to program for the 40. You know, not the 10. The 10 can come in and do whatever they need to do on the side, outside of. But you need to be able to incorporate, you know, you need to program for the 10 to be able to get better, or else they're going to leave. They're going to find somewhere to get better. So you need to program for the 10 and let the 40 scale it back to whatever they're, you know, like, hey, if I'm calling for 205 clean and jerks and your max is 135, well, you need to lower it down.
Throttle back.
Throttle back. Get the same. You can get the same. You can scale intensity.
Yeah.
Or scale volume, not intensity.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, if he can do 205 for 10 and you can do 135 for 10, you know, we're both going to be breathing as hard. But it's going to be you scaled to your fitness level and he did his fitness level.
Right.
If you're going singles at 135 and he's doing touch and go 10 at 205, you need to go lighter because your fitness level is not 135.
You kind of cheat yourself away.
Yeah, you're not getting what we're going for in this workout.
So I wanted to ask, what got you into CrossFit?
So when I was with the fire department, I started with the fire department, and you know, it was like the physical fitness test was, you know, run a mile and then be able to like drag a dummy so far, run up a flight of stairs, pull some hose up to the 3rd floor, climb a ladder, and then they just kind of do this stuff back to back. And I was able to do it, but it wasn't pretty. You know, I was able to get through it. So I got on, and I'm like, I need somewhere that's going to prepare me for that kind of stuff. So I found a CrossFit gym.
2012.
Yeah, it was like 2012, something like that. And I put on a lot of weight. So like being with the fire department, I was able to do it. And then like, we sat around a little bit. We did a little bit of it. You can put on weight not paying attention. Like, it's just like
you eat good food there.
Yeah, we eat good food, and then there's downtime, and then there's go time, and it's just like living in a house, you know. There's no calls like, grab a thing of cookies and grab a sandwich, and then we have lasagna for dinner. Like, and then if we didn't have any fires or anything that day, you know, you're just like loading up, and then, you know, 5 pounds turns into 10 pounds, turns into 20 pounds, and all of a sudden I bulked up to like 295. I think was my
Wow,
heaviest. Yeah,
really?
yeah. Without even really knowing it, my lieutenant, he started like, "Hey, you get pretty big." You know, people start making jokes, and it was. I didn't realize how big I was. So I look back on old pictures of me, and I'm like, man. And then at that point, it's almost overwhelming to think at 295. I'm like, I could probably lose 100 pounds, still be fatter than all of my friends. Like that's a that's a tough pill to swallow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's rough. And so you're like, well, I don't know at what point you reach the like, hey, I don't care anymore level, but it's somewhere around 300 pounds for me, you know.
Yeah,
And
like
then
whatever.
when you see these guys now that are,
Ice cream's good.
yeah, ice cream's good, and I'm just fat. I'm a big guy, whatever, you know. And
That's true.
that's just not. It's just not the case. Like if you can eat well and just tone it back a little bit, learn to move a little. Like the weight comes off a lot quicker than you think it will. You know, I went from 295, and then I started CrossFit, and I got down to around 250. Kind of ramped up, like working out, you know, from once a day to twice a day. Got down to like 220. Then I kind of plateaued. I didn't change any. I just increased my activity level.
Right.
You know, so I didn't change anything about the way I ate. Yeah, I went through. Maybe I ate a little bit less, or I started taking more protein shakes, but I was still crushing pizzas, man, and still there was no. I didn't track my food. It
Right.
just maybe I ate a little better because people around me. I associated with people who were eating a little
They're
better.
talking about it.
Yeah, talking about it. I'm like, oh, I'll try a protein shake. Yeah, I'll eat some more chicken breast or some whatever. And then I kind of jumped back up, not paying attention, just working out, same fitness level. And I got up to like 250 again. I was like, man, like I'm working out every day. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm like, I'm working out every day. You're just not gonna outwork a bad diet. Like,
No.
because
Yeah, it's a perfect way to say it.
you
You
just
can't.
because
It's all in the kitchen, man.
you go do whatever you want for an hour. You know, whether it be lift weights, running, you could go sprint for an hour, and you're probably gonna burn 600 calories, 800
Maybe.
calories, maybe. I mean, that you're just full bore going. I'm like, you can go sit down right after that and take that in and chips and queso. Like,
McDonald's.
yeah.
And then you get some cookies at McDonald's, and then a little bit later you get some a Pop Tart, or you know, I went got another little McDonald's run.
And picking at food. People, I don't think people realize how much. Like, even if you're like, oh, I only eat once a day, okay, and you ate a double cheeseburger and a large fries and whatever, you're already talking 1,500 calories,
easy. If not more.
Yeah, if not more. If you're going to Whataburger,
and no nutrients in any of that food.
Yeah, and you're not getting a solid nutrient intake. You're still high on carbs,
sugars,
loaded with fat. Yeah, you know, so you don't have hardly any protein in that. Yeah, it was a burger, but it was 78. You know, it was 80-20 meat or whatever it was. So, and it tastes good. Don't get me wrong, but like I think that's where people get confused. And then the picking at food, like, oh, walk through the kitchen, you have 5 Doritos, and then you go back through in an hour and you have, you know, small candy. These things just add up, and that will pack on the weight, because you're talking 140 calories here, 100 calories there, a Coke, and then these things are like, just your body is not going to burn that off.
I remember telling people that bodybuilding to gain weight, I'd eat 6,000-8,000 calories a day. People are like, oh, I could never do that. And I go, dude, you have no idea how many people do that. And if you eat McDonald's or something like McDonald's 3 times a day, you hit 6,000.
Yeah. Well, I think 6,000.
Yeah, I'm more like 4,000.
Yeah, that's probably insane. Talking 4,000 to 5,000. I actually am part of a nutrition group called Macroholics right now, and we talk about that kind of stuff a lot. And I actually asked a question to the group about that the other day. It was like, before learning how to track your nutrition, how many calories do you think you were eating a day? And most people said probably between 4,000 and 5,000. That was guys, girls combined. Everybody joined the group to lose weight. And you have some athletes in there who are trying to tweak their performance and stuff too. But most were saying between 4,000 and 5,000 easy. Just
like you said, 600 calories burned if you do something for an hour.
Yeah, and you know, you have your base metabolic rate. Your body just burns whatever, 1,200 calories a day, just being a body.
Mine was done. I did all my stuff very recently, like a few weeks ago. The dude said if I was in a coma, it would be 2,400 calories a day.
So yeah, you gotta, and that's probably because you've been working out so long.
I
Your body,
fast every day.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's part of
I
it.
usually eat like once a day, depending on how I feel before I go work out. I might have a small snack or something. Like today, I was kind of hungry for what worked out, so
You work out in
as
the mornings or afternoons?
as soon as I get off work, like 3-ish
Okay.
o'clock, 4-ish o'clock, and then I'll work out and go. So I eat a little meat, and then I'll go do something with the kids, and about usually do like a weighted workout, and then I do a WOD. I do whatever. So I do 2 workouts, I guess.
Right.
But one's always like a CrossFit WOD.
Yeah, you do some kind of conditioning, some kind of strength. Yeah.
Right.
But I think, your body just burns so many calories. Everybody's a little bit different. Just being a body, making your heart pump and digesting food and.
But living sedentary and eating shit foods and make that like really low.
Yeah, it'll make that really low.
So you're eating really high calories.
Yeah.
You're burning really
burning
low
nothing,
calories.
And so if you're burning 1,200 calories a day, and then say you go work out for an hour, and say you burn 800 calories, you're talking 2,000 calories. You take that in. That like I said, eating some pizza and some hot wings and drinking a few sodas and having a beer, watching
easy.
You're plus that already. Plus all the little goofy. That's just one meal. Plus all the other stuff you ate during the day.
I bet people don't realize sometimes, say there's a celebration, a birthday party, something, drinking beer, all that, they realize, oh, we were together for 4 hours last night with these people. They probably consumed 4,000 calories.
Yeah,
and they ate before that morning, they ate lunch.
Well, and that's the thing too. We have days, we call them reset days, where once a month you're allowed to, if all your other days are on track, you hit A plus, you hit your amount of protein, you stayed under your carbs, under your calories, you get a reset day. So you can go out, eat whatever you want. It's cheat day, basically.
I have one every Sunday.
Yeah.
But I go hard.
Yeah, and so and some people take them once a week, and some people take them once a month. We encourage once a month.
It's probably better.
And yeah, maybe. I mean, it works better for the majority of people, because that once a month they go out and take in. We've had some of these people taking in 15,000 calories. The average is probably somewhere around 6. And they don't like when you start eating like that again after you haven't been eating that way. Yeah, because you're like, man, at the end of the day, I felt so bloated.
Yeah. It's food hangover.
It's food hangover. Absolutely, because you're like, I don't want to eat like that. You don't realize how good you feel eating the right amount of food until you realize how bad you feel eating the wrong amount of food. Like
especially lots of it.
If feeling bad is your normal, I think that's a lot of people's thing.
I say that. I said, I bet 75% of people walk around and don't know what feeling good is.
Yeah.
Optimal.
Absolutely.
Optimal is probably the best word to use.
Absolutely.
You'd be surprised what I do every Sunday. Sometimes, I shouldn't say every Sunday, but there's some Sundays, like last Sunday, I mean, I'll scarf a whole box of Klondike ice cream sandwiches, the bar. I'll go ham. But some days, I'm like you said, I'll go, oh, today's Sunday, I can eat whatever I want. And I sit down and go eat whatever I want somewhere, and I go, can I just get a steak and some greens,
I just don't want to feel that way tomorrow.
Yeah. I might get the molten lava cake, just that, if that. And then, but even then, you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, man.
Well, and then you kind of like, you get out there to go work out, and you're like,
that's what I'm running on.
Making yourself.
That's what I've got going to run the motor right now.
And so you are ready to eat good again on Monday.
Yeah. So once a month's probably the best way. I do mean, I guess more like
once a week. And it's beneficial for you to be able to have those reset days and cheat days, because if you deprive yourself of things that you want or crave constantly, I think that's where people get on these diets and be like, oh.
Yeah, it don't work. I like to let the pleasure monkey out, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta let it happen.
And you gotta let it happen every once in a while. Now, you have to be able to be like, okay, I did that yesterday, and tomorrow's got to be back right on track.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. People, you let that go for 2, 3, 4 days, and now if you can, you have to flip that switch on and flip it off.
I gotta do something. I'll be honest about something that I do. Sunday's the cheat day, right? So I'll go buy a box of Klondike, whatever. Buy way too much junk food. And sometimes that junk food, I have this idea in my head that I'm going to smoke all that junk food in one day. It'll roll over till Monday. Well, guess what I'll do? I'll go, here's what I have to do to myself. And this is how it works. Either throw it away, which I'm not going to do.
Or make it last till next Sunday.
Or make it last till next Sunday. Or I'll just smoke it all right now. I do that sometimes. And then I'll go, I was like, you cheated, you piece of shit. Like, why'd you do that? Why did you do it? Why didn't you wait till Sunday? Why didn't you have enough willpower? Sometimes, no problem. But some Mondays, I'll wake up and go, I'll get home, I'll eat a really good meal, and I'll open that freezer up and go, why did you do
Or you have to be one of those people that can, like, I eat ice cream every night. I like incorporate it into my calories at the beginning of the day. So I get up and I'm
that?
like,
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm having this ice cream, I have a protein shake, have my coconut water, whatever, and I have these things laid out that I'm like, okay, here's my targets that I have to work with because I know what I want that day.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm at so many percent of carbs, fats, proteins. I'm like, okay, so if I want to hit my protein goal today, I need to have like some leaner, some leaner meat, like some chicken or whatever. If my fats are low, I'm like, okay, I can have some my fat and proteins low. I'm like, oh, I can have like some ribeye.
Yeah.
So it's like just playing a big game.
Right.
But it's you take the things that you want to incorporate in and then work your day around it. But knowing that you have to hit your targets.
See, I don't know about counting macros. I know how the old bodybuilding way. I can track my calories, I can track all that, and I'm doing that now because after I found out what I burned, I realized I've gained. I'll get to 230 pounds powerlifting in a deficit. I was having a hard time eating 2,000 calories in a day, man. Like I don't want to go back to the bodybuilding ways, but so what I would do is like you said, I would go buy sleeves or a bag of chocolate donuts and house it just to make 2,000 calories.
Like you said, some people,
it's super hard in a deficit.
And it depends. We have some guys in the group that just have like these super physical jobs and they work out 2-3 times a day. They're eating. I think there was one guy who was right around 5,000 calories a day just to maintain weight. It's like, what? But they just work that hard and they have the metabolism. And these guys that typically walk around that are kind of tall and skinny. I mean, that's how they're built, man. They can eat whatever they want. Ideally, to be in shape, you still need to eat your amount of protein, but yeah, just to sometimes fill calories, yeah, Oreos and
it's wild though.
It is crazy.
Blows me away.
Yeah,
but I still feel it.
Yeah, and that's what we always, when people start, they're like, oh, I can eat all this stuff. Yeah, you can have donuts and hit your calories. Are you going to feel and perform optimal?
Yeah.
No, probably not. You probably need to eat more, lean meats, vegetables, whole grains. Like, it's nice to be able to incorporate junk food.
Yes.
But when it comes to your performance, and you can lose weight doing that, and, counting macros is kind of like junk food weight loss. It can be, but
I've heard about that. Like, I eat this and this. I've lost much weight. But you're still fueled by sugar, carbohydrates, and processed crap.
Right. And it's nice to be able to incorporate that stuff and knowing that if you're craving it, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to be able to eat lean meats, vegetables, nuts, seeds,
So you're with nuts. See, I've done everything. I love trying everything for a year, like keto and all that stuff. And the Primal Blueprint that shit right there changed the way my body looked. When I read that book, I got all the information from Mark Sisson. From then on, I was always pretty jacked.
Yeah.
Like, not trying to cheat my horn, but I was like, this. I was always like looking for it. I was like, how to get this? I got that lean. I was like, this is how I did it. But
what's the basis behind that one?
Primal, kind of what you said, lean meats, fats, nuts, berries.
A little more natural, a little more.
No carbs, like before agriculture.
Right.
And I kind of went back. I did that. That was my favorite.
Right.
100% my favorite. But now I did the meat thing for pretty much a year, the carnivore diet. And I did my blood tested and everything. And it was always pretty good. But I really essentially think you got to have vegetables of some sort. So now
that's where your fiber and your stuff like I've noticed too, if you don't eat enough like fiber and stuff, like your digestive system is,
you need those micronutrients.
Yeah, you need the micronutrients. And we have a lot of people who come in and concentrate on macros at first just to learn the basics, and then they'll start concentrating on their micros. And they always talk that when you concentrate on micros, they'll hit their smoothies and their vegetables and stuff, and they feel better. They're like, wow, like my performance went from really good to really good.
Yeah, I can't deny the fact that if I eat a big old salad, I'm like, I feel like
I
should I do something right now?
Right.
See, and so now I'm like still do the meat thing. Like after this, I had a little bit of steak before, probably 2 hours before this, and then I probably had like eggs and the steak when I get home. But I have some salad too. I try to get 3 big salads a week at least, and a little bit of fruit.
Right.
I'm always experimenting to find out what's best.
I do too.
Too much salad makes me like
when I,
too much.
yeah, well, and too much salad makes me,
It's all waste.
yeah,
I don't, you can only get so much nutrients.
When you don't get super full from a salad, like I need some rice or some.
Yeah, I just got a rice maker yesterday. Some white rice. I'm gonna start doing white rice because it's fast digesting carb.
Right.
And it feels good.
Well, and then learning the difference in types of carbs, like what's gonna make you feel good. Because I started in the mornings, I don't eat very big breakfast, but I'm like, well, because I usually eat a pretty fat and protein heavy breakfast. Bacon, eggs, leftover steak, whatever I have. But I'm like, man, I work out in the morning about 9. I'm like, I need some more carbs. Like that fat goes away pretty quick when working out. So I'm like, I'll just throw in easy, like coconut water or banana, things like that. And I'm like, some fruit. Yeah.
Bioavailable nutrients coming. Like people say, well, the sugars in fruit. Well, they're mixed with fiber and they're bioavailable nutrients and sugars. It's a different kind of. It's also sugar, and your body it turns into glucose essentially, but it does it in a different fashion.
Yeah. It's not white refined sugar. It's fruit sugar.
Right.
It's.
And I heard you're never supposed to blend your fruit because the digestive process is kind of stripped away at that point, and it like flushes. It pretty much allows all that sugar to flush through as if it was some sort of like you don't get the fiber to do its job.
Oh, interesting. I did not. So it's not like breaking it down. Like It's just kind of just passing through your system.
You want the fruit to be digested by your body,
broken down.
And for some reason it's like, okay, it's done. Like just pile on sugar.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that a little more. I don't.
I read about that. I forgot, but then I heard on the podcast too. I was like, and it's from a very smart person. I was like, okay, maybe there's some.
It's very possible, But we always look in like at studies. Like, is there a study to support that, or is that somebody's like
just bro science?
Yeah, bro science.
Bro science works kind of.
Sometimes.
Kind of works. Like
that goes back to the whole like weightlifting thing we were talking about earlier. Like some people swear by a certain like this technique works, do it. And it's like, well, that's not the best on the shoulders. It works for you.
Right.
But maybe not.
Right.
Like, I don't know that.
Listen to bro science, but then go, put your own. Try it that way, and then figure it out.
Well, I always like if I look up different workouts, different nutrition stuff. I'm like, can I find this in a few reputable sources? Like, okay, then there's probably some truth to it. If I Google it and it comes up on broscience.com and one guy has it, I'm like,
There's a forum full of fools.
Yeah, I guess probably not legit.
No, I'm with you on that. And going back to that food thing, the rice thing, like knowing when to eat certain foods. Like I always eat for the day. Like if I'm not going to do much that day, I probably won't eat very much.
Right.
And I'll eat when I'm hungry now. That's another thing. Primal Blueprint is like only eat when you're hungry. It was the best. People want to be able to eat their cake, and eat their donuts, eat all that shit, and get their gains. Like if I can get away with it, that's what I'll do. Well, Mark Sisson, you see this guy, he's like 67. He's jacked. He's just it's food, man. It's all in the kitchen.
Right.
But he says eat as minimal as possible to get maximal gains still.
Right.
So I'm very about minute, and that's the reason I've always been able to stay pretty lean. And I can get super lean. Like right now, I'm going to lean up because we're going to the Bahamas in like a few weeks. So I'm going to try to be all jacked up and look all hot and sexy for the old lady. So super minimal, but I always felt good. And my body adjusts to it where I never get hungry. I don't get hungry.
Well, and knowing the difference, I think a large portion of people are knowing the difference between hungry and craving. Like, are you hungry? Like, oh, I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat some donuts. Or I'm going to eat even, but it's like, people always use the term like, oh, I'm starving. Like, you're not starving. One, there's a lot of people in this world that are starving. So don't, like, you're not starving. If you have the choice to go eat whatever you want, you're not starving.
Right.
But also, are you willing to sit down if I put a boiled chicken breast right in front of you with no seasonings, would you just crush it? Like, you may be hungry.
Well,
if you're looking at it going, like, nah.
Drink some water. And
you're craving. You want some pizza. You're not hungry.
Just drink some. It's just a drug. It's like
food's an addiction, man.
Sugar and carbohydrates. I've said this on here a million times. It releases the same endorphins as drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a period when you're getting off of them, you're gonna crave them. But once you get past that point, you'll really not crave them anymore.
Yeah, and I've noticed like going to eating. I would say even the average person probably just it's an American thing too. If you just went to every restaurant you go to, if you had a kids meal, like
Yeah.
that's about the amount of food you probably need to eat.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
have your people who need to eat more, like yourself. You know, you got to hire BMR,
Yeah.
and so you probably need to eat more than that. But for the most person, like a 400 to 500 calorie meal, which is probably what an average kids
Like
meal
twice a
is.
day is enough.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 times a day, probably good. And that's probably about the amount of calories you need to eat. You don't need to upsize your Coke and double, triple meat it and like taste good. And
Yeah.
you can do it. But
My thing is, when it comes to that though, like the double meat Coke and the donuts is, yeah, let's say you lose weight doing that. And that's, and I'm sure you can see people at Macroholics constantly do that. I want to tell them, you're not getting any nutrients at all. So the reason you can't eat 4 pounds of ribeye or any steak is because it's packed full of nutrients.
right, the body's got to break that down.
Yeah, and once it gets enough, it's like, I'm good. But you can eat 37 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's because there's no nutrients, but it's what's packed full of calories, just to store as fat.
Right.
So
you see a large portion of people who begin to diet, and they will ultimately begin choosing healthier foods because they're more filling.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas you're like, yeah, I could probably eat one donut and get me 200 calories and it tastes good, or I could have, you know, a waffle with some peanut butter and like balance out my calories a little better, and it would have a little more, you know, whole grains or nuts and seeds and things that are my body's gonna break down a little better. Or it's like, you know, I could eat a salad with some chicken breasts and it's gonna carry me a lot further.
Yeah.
Through the day, some green beans and some okra.
It's crazy.
You know, it's gonna carry me a little further than a piece of bread or whatever the case may be. You know, you kind of trick people into eating healthier because they automatically want to feel full or longer. And so they'll begin to choose healthier options kind of on their own, just based on how they feel.
Right.
It's like at first everybody thinks like, oh, I'm just gonna eat donuts and
get by with
Twinkies all day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna knock this out. And then you're like, I had Twinkies yesterday and I'm kind of feeling the sugar. Like I got into my workout and just crashed. You know,
right.
So I need to eat some more vegetables for lunch tomorrow. And
you know,
people will automatically begin doing that.
I noticed when I'm surprised, first of all, when I cut carbs, but I pretty much, I mean, literally, dude, under 50 grams of carbs a day, easy. Under 25 a lot of times.
That's impressive.
And I eat a lot of fats, a lot of meat, I eat a lot of red meat, and I eat avocados and things like that. But when I do eat carbs, I literally have a hard time staying awake.
Yeah.
Like,
eat it.
It's just like 30 minutes and I'm going, I gotta find bed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, when your body gets used to it. I think, and I don't have really any science to back this up, just from what I've noticed, keto diets typically work better for obese, sedentary people.
Yeah.
Because carbs are easy fuel, you know? So putting somebody on a keto diet would work really well, because they can still eat bacon and steak and these filling things, and they don't, since they're so big, they're not trying to get this energy to go work out. So they don't need these fast carbs and things like that. So you can restrict calories with things that are a little more filling. So, but every diet you look at, I think everybody swears by like, oh, I did Jenny Craig, or I did Weight Watchers. It's like, it's all calorie restriction, all of it.
Yes.
The basis behind all of them, they're basically putting your macros in a pre-made meal. And it's all calorie restriction. Like
it really is. I mean, you can't eat.
Calories are king when it comes to weight loss. You cannot eat more than your body burns.
I used to believe, people would have the argument like it's not just calorie in, calorie out. It's not just calorie in, calorie out, because carbs and sugars are a factor of what you're eating to help you burn the optimum amount of fat.
Right.
But it is calories in, calories out, because you can eat donuts.
You could eat 2,000 calories of Twinkies and lose weight.
But if you ate the same amount in meat, you would lose probably more weight and feel better.
Right. You're going to feel differently. How your body performs and feels is going to be different based on your macros.
And you're going to look different.
You're going to look different.
Your skin's going to be different. You're going to be a little flabbier.
Right.
Like, You're going to carry less muscle tone.
When that's, the way we balance out our macros is always uh, for the optimal amount of fat loss with the optimal amount of being able to retain muscle while still losing weight. That's kind of how it's geared towards.
You've been successful with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're pretty
I
jacked.
went from so I kind of, we talked about how I kind of yo-yoed my weight from 290 to 220 to 250. I officially started like, hey, I'm going to change my body at like 230 to 235. And I stuck with that, gradual calorie decrease because as you lose weight, body doesn't need as much to stay alive, basically.
Right.
And so you can't eat 2,000 calories and just be like, oh, you'll see that success for a little while until your body's like, okay, well, this is how we live.
This is
you got to keep reducing those calories. So I got down. It took me, I think, right at 9 months to get to 180.
Whoa.
So from 235 to 180, and then I've maintained. Right now, I think I'm 179, 178, and I've maintained between 180 to 185 with a few cuts here and there for a year and a half now. So just maintaining calorie, enough to perform and feel good and support energy levels and not support body fat.
Right.
That's the key.
What's crazy about because I was going to say, I know you're a CrossFit guy, so you say eat waffles, you eat bread, you eat carbs.
Yeah.
Because I was hardcore against them. You're not like nothing wrong with them. I was like, I can do this without carbs. I did that 455 deadlift I did the other day, totally fasted.
Right.
I hadn't eaten for who knows, like 16 hours. But I do know that I've done power, like I was bench pressing at the power gym. Fasted, we were talking about in the coach work. I had 365 on the bench pressing it, feeling good. Fasted, a racket. He goes, hey man, just try this for me. So he goes, get some carbs and like a scooper. Like, you drink it.
Vitargo or something like
that.
Yeah,
and he threw creatine in there and he shook it up. I drank it. We talked for like 10, 12 minutes. My veins start popping out. He's like, all right, it's starting to work. Let's do it again. Same weight. Like a few minutes later, dude, the difference in explosion, it was, I power at the
carbs are quick energy,
Power. So they're good.
Yeah.
Just use them right.
Well, and I think
and get good carbs.
The right diet is the diet that works for you. So it's like some people swear by keto and some people swear by primal. Some people do macros. It's like whatever the one you're going to be able to do and stick with for the rest of your life, that's the right diet for you.
Yeah.
Like they all work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can restrict calories and eat whatever foods that fit your lifestyle, and that's the diet for you. If you're like 20 days in, go, shit,
there's no way I'm doing this.
Like, maybe you need to incorporate some different things. I think that's why macros work so well, is because you're able to incorporate things that you want and crave along with things that you need, and that works for most people.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, the whole I guess the idea of like having a diet you're like, this is miserable, this is terrible. I did keto and then tried to deep into keto, like super keto, where you can't eat this and you look everything sugar here. It's like I was like, all right, so I get it. I get what you're doing here. Okay, so but it's not for me because I'm gonna put my sauce on my steak if I want to or whatever. And then the best thing I think people can do is try your keto. This is what I do. Try carnivore. Try a vegan if you want to, and then find out what you gained from each one that was good, and then kind of put them together and make your own
blueprint. And that's and because there is real diseases and things out there that some people can't incorporate, like grains and things like if you can't eat grains, it's hard to get carbs. So maybe a keto diet would work really well for you because
you need the fats.
Like it just is.
See, and I'm still scared of oatmeal. I love oatmeal.
Yeah.
But I don't eat breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that without fasting, I feel like I would not be as lean. But then I see guys like you, I see CrossFitters, our bodybuilders eat 300, 400, 500 calories and they're jacked.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if I can, or how to go about figuring
it. Probably just depends, when you eat carbs, you feel a little heavier. And so you probably do carry that weight a little bit longer. Like, I wake up in the morning, I'm a little leaner, and I go to bed at night, and I'm like, ooh, like, I'm a little you know, got a little bit more weight on me tonight. And I'll weigh myself, and there's a 3 to 5 pound fluctuation, just throughout the day as your body processes stuff. But yeah, probably if I ate less carbs, I'd probably not carry as much. I don't know. I've never really tried.
How many carbs do you eat a day?
It's like right around 180.
That's a good number.
Yeah. I take in usually right around 180, and I try and take body weight and protein.
Yeah.
So 180 in carbs, body weight and protein, and then that's a max for me in carbs. So it's usually 180 or less.
Okay.
And that puts me around, it's about 35% of my daily calorie intake, and then I balance out with fat. So some days if I'm like want more fat, I'll be as low as 110, 120, and I'll take in 40% fat and still hit my protein goals. And I try and hit my protein every day as my so like under my calories, under my carbs, and at or above my protein. That's kind of where we're at.
I think if you want to lose weight and gain muscle, in my experience,
hitting your protein,
you gotta have, if not, be a little bit high.
Yeah, and that's I always try to do that. If I weigh 200, I would always try and hit at least 200 or higher in my protein, and then figure out the carbs and calories from there. Like I would always try and hit my protein.
Yeah,
that's always been like I would stay under my carbs, under my calories, but always try to hit my protein goal. Just because if you're not supporting the, I guess when you're dieting, you're always going to lose a little bit of muscle mass. I mean, it's just, but you want to maintain as much of it as possible.
I'm telling you, I gained 230. I was 220, 230 is my good body size. I feel good, but I could gain muscle. I'd gain weight. I'd get my BMIs done, lose fat, but I was in a deficit.
Yeah.
But I eat a steak every night. I eat bacon and eggs every night. I eat red meat like every day. So high levels of like protein.
Yeah.
And I wonder
if that's slow digesting, like it's just kind of staying in your system. You get these whey proteins, and I've always wondered if and I was wondering this a while back, if I didn't supplement with protein shakes and I got all of my protein from food.
How much food you can eat?
Yeah, I know you're gonna have to take in a lot of food. So it's like, but I wondered if it would change the way my body looked, or if it wouldn't really matter.
I don't take protein powder.
Yeah.
And the reason I haven't for years, and the only reason I don't is because it just makes me gassy.
Yeah.
Some of it tastes good. I got this stuff called MRE. I haven't even tried. It looks really good, but it's a meal replacement. But I just eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
You'll get to a point where you can hose a bunch of steak.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's helped me, I think, keep my muscle mass high while I'm in a deficit. Because you eat a whole, so I eat sirloin, and that's what.
That's the key too. Is finding meat that hits your protein goals and isn't too high calorie. Like, yeah, I would love to eat ribeyes every night, but they're
too much.
Yeah, they're 500 calories for a decent sized ribeye. Yeah. I'm like, I'd rather give me 12 ounces of sirloin for 450, 300 something calories, and then I'm able to eat something else. So it's like,
or I eat two of them.
Or I do, like, if I want to eat more food for the day, I'm like, well, I could have me an 80-20 meat burger. Yeah, it's greasy. It tastes good. Mm-hmm. But give me some 96.4 and I'll have more of it.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want all that.
Yeah, I don't want it. Yeah, throw on an egg and an avocado and make my burger taste even better. Like, season it more and add some other toppings. Like,
I don't love seasonings. I don't love condiments.
I don't either. I like pickles and lettuce and tomatoes and mustard and ketchup and all this different stuff. Yeah, I pile that on there because that's minimal calorie stuff. Like,
yeah. But usually that's probably the most healthy part of the burger.
Yeah, and that's where you can, like you said, get your micronutrients and be able to get some of that fiber. And
if you're weird like me, you don't put the buns on there. You just eat it.
Sometimes, man, I go through.
Let me fool nobody. I eat a shitload of hamburgers too, though. Still.
But see, I'm kind of that way too. It's like, where do I want to spend my calories? That's where it becomes a game because you're like, well, I could eat a bun, and that's gonna cost me 120 something calories and taste good. I'd rather have 2 patties. That's
really
me.
fill up and really have something that's gonna be, I guess, more satiate. It'll keep you satiated longer and more nutrient dense.
Yeah. So you learn to play that game of Like, what do you want versus?
Dude, I cook up hamburger patties all the time.
I
Just
do too.
stack them away, just pull it out,
Yeah.
and eat real fast.
Yeah. And it's I keep stuffed pork chops and sirloin and hamburger patty. Like I just cook them all up, and I go to the store and buy them up and eat one. I eat random stuff like hamburger for breakfast. You know, like just throwing in like I don't care hamburger and a banana. I don't care. It's like
it's meat,
protein. Meat and carbs or whatever. Like my meals don't have to make sense anymore. It's like I'm not trying to.
You're just worried about the end goal of what the day is.
Yeah, I want my calories to match up at the end of the day. Plus, I like the way they taste. Like I don't really care if a banana and a hamburger patty is weird to you. I'm not trying to.
I like it that you say bacon.
Yeah.
People think bacon's bad. Bacon's actually pretty good for you.
Fats and it's just because fats carry so many. It's because bacon is really a fat, not necessarily a protein. Because it's 5 grams of fat and 5 grams of protein, but fats are 9 calories per gram, whereas proteins are 4. So 5 and 5, you're going to get a lot more calories from your bacon from fat than you are from protein. So once you start nerding out on that kind of stuff and learning about it, it becomes a lot more evident of like what's a fat, what's a protein.
Exactly.
It's not everything's created equal. Like calories from fat are so much more dense. That's why a tablespoon of peanut butter is so calorie dense. It's all fat.
Yes. That I have a problem. I haven't done it in a couple months. I left the bacon, but there for a while. I'm not kidding you. I'd eat a steak and a pound of bacon.
Yeah, when I'm
almost every night.
When I'm on like maintenance or muscle gain or something like that, macros, and I can take in more calories. Yeah, I'll sit there and house a bunch of bacon. Because I'd rather have that than bread. I'd rather.
Well, it carried me over to the next day, and I never saw any. I was lean, man. I was super lean.
It tastes better. Like it tastes better than bread. Like bread only tastes good because it has fat on it, like butter or peanut butter or something like.
Yeah, bacon's.
Yeah.
Oh, bacon's the best
for sure.
Bacon is the best. I want to ask you about so macroholics. So you count pure macros with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And
there's my buddy David, he kind of runs the group. He opened a gym here in Midland and moved away, and then he opened up a gym in Lubbock, CrossFit Lubbock. And he had put on some weight and stuff, and I guess he had started kind of seeing a lot of the athletes were getting a little better than him. He started really looking into his nutrition, and he went from like 260 pounds and kind of just under the radar, man. Like he was up there in Lubbock doing his thing. He'd come down and done a CrossFit competition with me. We finished, me and him, like last and second to last.
Yeah.
Like both of us were 260, just like carrying all this extra weight.
Still
guys like, yes, we were strong-ish, but these guys like Ty and Levi, Renewed Strength, they were just, they're gymnastics. Yeah, and they weighed 180, like pulling weight, like it was just, they were just faster, they were fitter,
Right.
And so he kind of under the radar went from, hey, I'm going to figure out this nutrition stuff, did his own thing, didn't put it on social media, didn't really hype it. I'm sure all the people that he was working out with his gym saw it, putting in the hours at the gym, and then he came out and went from like second to last in a local competition to like a regionals out, like CrossFit Games, in like 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, just lost all this weight, went down to like 180, figured out all this nutrition and macros, and so he kind of started it from there, doing with his local gym there at CrossFit Lubbock, kind of coaching a couple people. And then he kind of started some online stuff, and now it's blown up into like 600 people from all across the world just tracking their nutrition. We have a good accountability program. He's got a couple of people working for him now, and just people that are coming to see the light of like, hey, you can't eat whatever you want. And programming it to where there's accountability there. Every night, people like take their screenshots on their phone. You got to post them to the group. Yeah, the accountability is huge. Like
that's really good.
Yeah, you post it to the group, and then they give you feedback on, hey, you're under calorie. Hey, you're not eating enough food. People come in and be like, I didn't feel very good today. I ate 1,000 calories. You need to eat more. Like, I know you can't. Okay, yeah, you're not going to heal up. Yeah, so giving advice and feedback. He does like live Q&A questions, like kind of like he does a podcast kind of like this. And
That's sick.
yeah, it's awesome, man. He keeps adding things to the group. He does at-home workout programming for people with no equipment to people who want to be like bodybuilders. He does bodybuilding strength programming. He does an overall fitness like CrossFit programming. He does people with, if you have one dumbbell, like
That's
I'll
awesome.
show you how to do one dumbbell workouts or just body weight workouts. So he does all this different cool stuff. He's always adding new things to it. So it's a Macroholics Nutrition. He always.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bodyweight workouts work because I did heavy lifting for years, blew shoulders out, and then for like 3 years straight, 4 years straight, I pretty much only did bodyweight and cable type resistance workouts, and got jacked, and then got back into weights a couple years ago.
But I think that's a big thing too. People don't like.
You don't need nothing.
Yeah,
You need nothing.
Push-ups, pull-ups,
Body squats.
air squats. Yeah.
If you want to grab something, cheek out on
pick up a rock in your front yard.
Yeah.
Find a bigger rock the next day.
Yeah.
Like
exactly. Like start looking for things that maybe you could, a tire on something that you could put over your head or something. You don't,
carrying things around, like you said, buckets. Go to the store. You can get
hefty.
A broomstick and some buckets and a PVC pipe and like a sledgehammer, whatever you
get
got.
you some hefty bags. You get a couple hefty bags. You fill them full of water. You put a few over the top so there's no holes. Tie them up. Start doing whatever you need to do.
If it breaks, you fill another hefty bag tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do in prison. Those guys get massive.
Yeah. So it's you can do a lot with minimal to no equipment. Right.
It's a lot of the want to, and people don't realize. I think the best thing you can tell somebody is, hey, as soon as you get whatever you're doing throughout your day, that moment you go home, just go straight to the room, put your shorts and your workout clothes on, your shoes, and go somewhere in your house that you can designate a little time and you get away for 10 minutes.
When we talk about that, he's just a really cool dude, but he puts a lot of things into perspective too. And it's always like, if you say, oh, I didn't have time, like, no, say I didn't make it a priority. Like,
yeah, you had time.
You had time to play on your phone for an hour, and you had time to, watch TV for 30 minutes, and that's an hour and a half. So, you had time to check Facebook, and you had time to do. So you start looking at how much time you spend. Go to your phone and open up whatever it is, and look at what you're spending time on. Like, oh, you sent 300 text messages today, or however many. And so you start looking at how much time you're spending doing random things that you could have been reading a book or gaining knowledge or doing podcasts or working out or whatever. And it's like, you start looking into what you're spending time mindlessly doing versus what you're spending time proactively doing.
Right.
And
100%. Like I tell people, if you had a kettlebell, whatever your weight you needed, and you have 15 minutes, you can get seriously in shape. You can
kettlebell's a wreck. Man.
They'll make you can have one kettlebell and have 15 minutes aside every day, and you'll look so good naked in a few months.
Yeah. You can do so much with a kettlebell. You do swings, presses, carries, and you can vary it up, one arm, you get that core stability.
That's why I'm in those implements like maces and battle clubs. I really got into that because just the way it makes my body feel.
Yeah.
I'm hard to push over now.
Yeah. And everything has its own, I just have this great appreciation for every aspect of fitness. It just, whether it be a gymnast that can do muscle ups or a weightlifter who can, clean and jerk 400 pounds or these guys that can deadlift 900 or these people that walk on their hands or these guys swinging maces for however long or all the.
Just the fact that you look at this person, you go, the time and the effort they put in to get to that point in their fitness journey or whatever you want to call it is amazing. That's not easy what they're doing. They didn't just come out here and do that and get that good at it. Like no one squatted 1,000 pounds or did it for 1,000 pounds the first day.
Yeah. Well, and like you see, I think a lot of people watch the Olympics and be like, oh, those ring routines are cool, but that can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Just do you don't even get points for doing a muscle up. That's just how you get on the rings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
just to get started.
And so they're like,
that's true.
Yeah, that's just how you get up there.
And they make it look like nothing.
And they just pull themselves up there, and you're like, just the body control it takes to do that. Like, just trying some of these basic gymnastics things. It's just that, like, you can be strong and not be able to do any of that.
Yes, no.
Because there's a different level of strong. Like,
well, a gymnast, like, if you grab like a bodybuilder and you push them on their side, they're easier to make do this.
Yeah.
150-pound gymnast, they're not bending that guy in half. You're just not bending
his core strength and his shoulder. I mean, you look at their shoulders, like
grip strength.
Yeah, their grip strength, like
they're different. They're made of metal.
Yeah, I think that's where CrossFit kind of gets the idea of meshing all that together.
Yeah.
Like, let's do a little bit of strongman. Like, you're not going to be the strongest strongman. You're not going to be the best weightlifter. You're not going to be the best gymnast, but you're going to be pretty good at all of them. You know, and that's where they try to mesh all that together. Like, you know, don't be the slowest runner. You're not going to be the slowest guy. You're not going to be the fastest guy. And you can have some people who are pretty dang good at all of it. But the general idea of general physical preparedness, like if my son wants to climb that wall, you know, that's a muscle up, you know, climbing the fence, you know, I'm going to show him how to climb the fence, or I need to move a couch, like that's a deadlift, you know, like just general physical preparedness.
Yeah, I put it in perspective as I'm super extreme about stuff, but I'm like, if I have to get away from a really bad, like life-threatening situation, I can jump over something. I can run a long way from it. I can pick it up when I'm away. I can get away.
Yeah.
I have the best opportunity at getting out of whatever situation I am because I'm physically in shape for whatever comes my way.
Well, and then overall too, like I just look at goofy things too. Like if my son says, "Dad, sit on the floor with me and let's roll this ball," I don't want to be getting on the floor aching and
getting
out of breath, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, let's go throw the football, or let's go, you know, I want to see that mountain over there. I want to go see what's on top of it. I want to be able to walk up that."
Exactly.
You know, like goofy things to where.
Well, you want your son to like, I don't need a superhero.
My dad, he can do it. Like,
exactly.
Just things like that. Like I want to be generally prepared to swim, run, bike, hike, whatever.
I think most people do. They just get kind of like set back so far. Like you said, the I don't care mark.
Yeah.
And there's like, it'd be nice, but I can't find the time.
Yeah.
You know,
and some people have more time.
So many things going on. You're like,
and I get it. There are those people you're like, man, you are busy. Like, but there's people, I mean, that
wake up a little earlier.
Yeah. You know, you can get up at 4 a.m. You can go to the gym at midnight.
I do it every day.
Yeah. And if you want to set the time aside, you can. Like,
it's what
you'll find, because you'll find the time if you want it bad enough.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's it. That's 100% true.
Because I guarantee you, if I told you, hey, like you lose, 50 pounds this year, I'll give you $1 million. You'll find the time.
You lose 70.
Yeah.
You lose 70.
Yeah, you'll find the time.
That's all you'll think. Yeah.
You know. So, and it just depends what you want to make sacrifices for. You know, some people make sacrifices a little bit of time with their family. And that's what
if anything, bring them along.
Yeah, I work, stayed home with my son, but I'm like, he comes out there every day and works out with me.
Right.
He'll play in the yard. He'll dig in the dirt. He'll come out there and he'll lay down on the ground, do burpees. You know, he'll watch me. Like, I'm teaching him. I hopefully am teaching him good habits, not, bad ones.
And he'll remember it forever.
Yeah.
I did with my dad. I was, like I said earlier, before the podcast, I was raised in the gym by my dad. I'll remember that forever.
Yeah.
It was awesome. That's the reason a big reason I am like I am now.
Yeah.
I just like lifting weights because
I just don't want my son. Yeah, I don't ever want him to get to the point where he has to lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
You know,
like, that's tough.
I could just instill it in him from the beginning to, hey, just eat a decent amount of food and stay active. Like, you won't ever have to get to the point where you're like, I have to lose 100 pounds.
You'll always feel pretty good.
Yeah, you'll always feel pretty good.
Well, I guess that's a good way to wrap it up, man.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 30 minutes in. It's fast. It's wild how fast these things actually go.
It is, man.
Start zoning in on the conversation.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming out here.
That's awesome.
I'm glad.
You have to have me on again.
We're going to. We'll do another one for sure. I can already tell. There's probably too many things we could go off track
on tangents. Yeah.
For sure. Man, I appreciate you coming. Yeah. Next week I have Ricardo Flores with Rich Fit Meals on here.
Oh, nice. I've run into him a couple times and grabbed some meals from him.
And I know for a fact, I think it's like $160 a week for him to pretty much feed you like every meal. Dude,
that's not a bad deal.
You can't beat it. And it's going to be good food. It's going to be healthy food.
Well, the fact that I am all about I'm all about pre-portion throw it. Like,
I think he sends it to you. I think they or to deliver it or something.
I go to HEB a lot and get the little, quick barbecue, pre-cut up chicken. Just spoon it.
But it's good food.
Yeah, for sure.
But for $160 a week.
Yeah, I don't know that I could cook my own. I don't know that I could buy it.
I was wondering.
It depends what you like, because time is money too. So
yeah, So there, you don't have to cook now. You can work out.
Yeah,
You eat good food.
more gains.
So that'll be number 20 for me. This is number 19, dude. I'm glad you
That's
made
my
that.
hockey number, so
Dope.
number 19. So
Dope.
that works.
Well, I guess we'll get off here. I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll catch you on the next one later on. That was a good one, dude.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, that was a good one.